So as that starts, a little box on your screen pops up. Click the word "Got it,"
Yes.
and it clears out of the way. And then we'll get going. I will
Hey,
mute.
Otto.
Hey, what's up, Gail?
I do. Yeah, this is Gail. Listen, I may not make it through the whole class because I think I overdid it with yoga yesterday, and my legs are real like rubbery.
Sorry. Well, remember you can always sit in the chair and do some of the movements and practice the choreography, like shifting on your buttocks and turning from your waist. Uh,
Okay.
so you can do it
Yeah.
like that if you want. Also, sometimes just observing is useful too.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll
So,
do
but
do what I can then.
if you leave, it's no problem. Also, right?
Okay. Thank you very much.
All righty.
Bye.
So let's begin sitting on the chair. Sit at the front edge of your chair. This point, especially if you've been coming for a while, this should be something that you already know what I'm going to say. And the beauty of that is that then you get to carry that with you as your home practice. Sitting at the front edge, attending to central upright, jung, jung, that central pillar. Hands resting somewhere comfortable, and then scanning through the body, looking for where you're using what they call Li, or tension-based strength, to hold you where you are, and we want to uh, slowly over time learn to send the message of there's no need for that. Instead of Li, tension-based strength, we soften, we release, we allow for freedom of movement. So that softening called Chun One, which is softening and sinking, or allowing that sinking and settling to happen as your means of finding stability, whether in your chair or whether standing up. So we're not holding this body, but we're melting the body. And then when we get more of that Chun One softening and releasing quality through the body, we start to feel the result of that, which is Qing Ling, or lightness, nimbleness, freedom of movement, right? So if I'm tense, then in order for me to move, there's all this fighting happening internally. But if I'm relaxed, and then I just easy, fluid movement. And I've watched, this one of the reasons I love working with folks with Parkinson's is because I'm watching how Li, tension-based strength, doesn't work, especially with people who get in that freezing state or the moving that's stuck. But then also seeing that even with all the Parkinson's that's going on inside of people, if they can relax, which they can, right? We use our breathing to calm down. We just send this message of let go. And then the movement is there, whether it be shifting weight to take a step or an ease of movement to reach the arm. I do a lot of assisted movement work, and oftentimes I'll grab someone's arm and try to move it, and they cannot help but be fighting me no matter which direction I want it to go. There's this fight, but then when they relax, all of a sudden, all this range of motion, up, down, left, right, out, around, all of it's available just from this dropping of a layer of tension that everybody is sort of doing. It's just Parkinson's highlights it. It's just really emphasized. It's really obvious how detrimental it is. So let our practice today just be all about this dissolving, this thawing, this releasing, this unclenching. So the saying is a Taoist loses something every day. So we're not here to put something on. We're here to use the techniques to dissolve what's in this body that is extra. Breathing in through the nose, long, smooth, and full. Feeling that expanding, that opening up from the inside. Then when you're ready, softening that breath out, melting, feeling all the parts of the breathing chassis just kind of settle in. And then when you breathe again, take a big full one and expanding, opening from the inside, and then all the way to that empty. Let's just do this for a few more breaths. As I say, this could be your whole practice that you do a couple times a day for 5 to 10 minutes, where you're just sitting with good posture, practicing relaxation, and doing this breathing. And that would be an incredibly well spent practice without any additional complexity. Just this calibrating, uh, frequency calibrating, nervous system, brain, body, just really giving yourself time to hone and polish and become present and connected. Really keep that in mind, that oftentimes you say, oh, I can't remember what to do. I can't remember what I learned. But you can remember this sitting, Zhongjung, central pillar, Chunwan, softening and melting everything out, feeling that looseness, that limberness, Qingling, breathing with nothing else to do. And then ideally, we've sort of cracked the code a little bit. We've opened up this new state, this more natural state, and now we add on to it some complexity of movement. Hands slide back, elbows back, shoulder blades back, chest up, chin up, arching. And then hands slide forward, chest hollowing, dropping the head round. Again, inhaling as you are exhaling. So not only is it important the movement that we are doing, but the power system that you're using to do it. That's the key here, is that you're feeling sung, soft, supple, pliable, liquid, fluid, hydraulic, rather than li, or tightening, tensing, gripping, yanking, pulling. This idea of oozing through movement. The last one. And then settle to the middle, and we just go right into our rotations. Left hand forward, right hand elbow back, turning, using sung to turn. Turning. And li, or tension-based strength, or you could say force, has its place, as in you turning and turning and turning, and then right at the edge, you might apply a little bit of force, but then you remember to release that force to melt. So this is how we kind of nudge our way deeper into these ranges of motion, right? So you're turning as far as you can with softness only, and then you're using just a perfect, precise amount of this gentle force, and then you go release that force and use song. And the next time around, you'll probably find you can get just a hair deeper without any force, eventually to where we're really not even, we don't even need to use it. And our body has full range, full agility, all of that. And then make your way back to center. Hang the arms, soft. Now, as your foot should become kind of empty, left wrist, you want to float it up so you can pour yourself just a little bit more, but don't fall out of the chair, but flirt with it. Flirt with the disaster over there, and then make your way back to center, through center, lean, softening your way to this side. Then this wrist staying loose and empty just floats up. This foot empty. And change. Remember, oozing rather than yanking and pulling. Oozing across. And we're meditating still. The wonderful part of these practices is that there's a 2-for-1, 3-for-1 we're getting, right? When we're paying attention incredibly attentively to every little micro movement that we're doing, we're actually doing what the meditation is to yield as well. So we get all of that taken care of. Now we're back to the middle, shoulder blades, right? So remember, they're on your back, your arms plug into the socket. So the shoulder blades spread apart, and that allows the arms to go from neutral to kind of in front. Then the shoulders, you lift them up, bring them over top and back. Now the arms are a little back behind the center line. And then the shoulder blades slide down through neutral, shoulder blades forward, up, over top, back, down the back, under, forward, and up, over top, down, back, under. 2 more. Reverse. Back, up, over, forward, down, under, through neutral, back, up and over. And right shoulder forward and up. As the right shoulder goes back and down, bring left shoulder forward and up. As it goes back and down, right shoulder forward and up. Reverse. And release. Bend elbows. Elbows flare out, up, loose, free, down, round in front, squeeze. Out and up. Down, around, squeeze. Elbows straight back, down, forward, up, down, forward, forward, down, back, down, forward, up, down, out to the side, thread, hug, out, hug, out, hug. Down, release, loose. Scoot back a little, load, push, load, down. load. Right foot, point, flex. Invert, evert, tilt, tilt. Circle. And reverse circle. Switch. Point and flex. Tilt in, tilt out. Circle. Reverse circle. And then scoot forward to the front edge again. Feet a little wider than hip distance. Lift your toes, turn toes and knees in, closing quad, opening quad. Close, open, close, open. One more. Close. Neutral. Hip hinge, fold, sit vertical, lean a little bit back, sit vertical, all from where the legs meet the hips. Feeling that as the only place that anything's really changing. You're just folding from the hips, unfolding, and all this movement of the rest of the body is just along for the ride. So it's very efficient. It's almost like an optical illusion. A big movement is occurring, but really inside it's just a small little place going open and close. Slide your feet back a little, arms nice and loose, fold, arms and shoulders in front of the ankles, rise all the way to standing. Stay standing for a moment, and then fold at the hips. Sit all the way down. Same idea, this optical illusion of all the body parts executing this important and powerful movement, but mostly it's just the hip hinging and this folding, and you're just allowing that sung, that softness, for everything to just be natural. And so then it becomes easy. Now, don't sit down, but basically do the same thing. Use this to touch the toes, touch the floor even, and rise. And then rise. All from the quad. One more. And standing. Stay standing. From here, from this middle pivot, just casually change your weight to your right leg. Feel that your left leg is now empty, right? This little swivel that I'm doing with my left foot, hope you can see that, this little movement, I'm not doing it with force, right? And I'm also not pulling the leg up in the hip so that I can move it. All it is it's just empty. It's kind of floating. And then we want to, from this middle pivot, just casually go over to the left leg to the point where the right foot's no longer under use. It's no longer in service as a stable part. And then lean. And also notice that even though I am sort of changing and leaning, there's not a huge amount of upper body losing of zhong zheng. So it's not like stiffly held, but also there's a through line that's staying intact, as in the teacup on the head isn't spilling off to the side. But that can only be accomplished with the softening, with the loosening up of all the layers, so that when you come over here, you let the knee be a little bendable, and then this is just empty. And then bendability that allows all the weight to chun one, to go down and through us, so that here's that Ching Ling quality here. And again. Now we add to this slightly leaning and tilting. So pay attention not only to the lifting hand, but more so to the hand that's down here, reaching down. The middle, even though we can start to play a little bit with the angles of all these moving parts, the idea is that where our stability comes from is the opening up, the through freedom of your middle. So initially our middle is stuck and everything's stuck to it. And so then if we went this way, we'd feel like we were going to fall over. But when we're loose, then you can lean and tilt and float the foot. And yet here you still have the sensation of stability, the sensation of balance, found not from li or tension or grip or effort, but from the opposite of that, from this release. That's why it's such good news when you start to understand Tai Chi. You go, oh, it's way easier to execute and move through this, use this body than you would have thought. So that's left, right, yin yang. Same casual quality here. Now this left hand, let's all have left hand high, right hand low. So now your hand will go forward, right? Forward. As that hand goes forward, the low hand comes a little bit behind. And then as you change leg, you wheel. So see if you can just get on this rhythm. But one of the hardest parts of it that people miss is this path up. So bring that right hand up or left hand up, and then it goes out. Now, whichever hand is low has to come up sort of the back side under the armpit. So Alex, notice, yeah, exactly. I'm talking mainly to you. You kind of jumped it here instead of bring it up that space here. Tickle your own armpit, and then it's free to come out over the top, right? And then that low hand out. So this far away hand is falling down far away. There, that's correct. That's correct. So people often say, oh, it's kind of like swimming, but it isn't, because usually when we're swimming, we're going out over this side, right? We're swimming over this side, but it does have this feeling of flow. And it's cleaning out inside here, right? This rolling that ends up having to be present there. Reverse. Back, tickle the armpit, go down. As that goes down, the other arm is going swinging forward and up. Forward and up. And then cycle. So the hand that's on its way down the back, that's the leg you go into. So Alex, keep it straight in front of you, and we're going in reverse now. So reverse. So bring the hand back, down. This one goes forward, back. So see the back, yeah, that. Back, down, forward, back, down, forward, back. As it goes down, the other one goes forward, back, down. As the other one goes forward, All right, so then I'll just turn sideways so you can see the flow. And then there's that leisurely kind of walking in place. So we're loosening up and freeing up the moving parts, right? And then last one in this little set, pressing palm, soft, relaxed palm. Pressing palm, soft and relaxed palm. As you press one, soft and relaxed, lift the other. Press right alongside you. Notice where my hand is. Next to the body. So Alex, you just went like this. I'm here. When I turn sideways, I'm just showing you, I'm not telling you to turn sideways. See where my hand is in relationship to my body. Keep it next to you, not out in front of you. Next to you. And then right up with a relaxed wrist. Then flatten, press. Relaxed wrist, press. When one is pressing, other is relaxed and floating. Then pressing and floating. The hand that's pressing down, that's the leg you go into. Press. Press. The emphasis is down. When we get down, you feel free. Down. Feel that stability of we got the middle and we got our connection to the earth. Then everything else is handled. And both hands down. Shogun, or closing gesture. Wing, roll, fold. Sinking. Hands in front of the belly. Hands cross. Down. Now, rock a little to your toes. So you just lean into your toes a little bit. Toes, and the hands swing a little forward. Rock a little bit back towards the heels, hands swing behind you. Toes, swing. Remember, when I'm turned sideways, try to be able to see that I'm not taking my hands off the center line. They're just going straight in front, straight back. Now, forward and up, pump. Remember that the hands come up in this relaxed wrist position. Then, so you're in your toes here, rock to your heels and slide back. See how my palms are flat now? Elbows back. And settle the hands just a little. Now, rock into your toes, go forward through the fingertips. Forward. Let's do just that portion again. Back and so that's called G, or forward expression. We come back into the toes, G, back. One more, G. Now turn your palms to face. They stay far away. They come down the long side of a circle, far side of a circle. Come underneath, up the back like you're going to tickle your own armpits, and forward with wrists relaxed. Do that again. Turn the palms to face. Come down, up the back, under, forward. And now we flatten the palms a little bit. Down and back. That's Lu. So we've got Pung, rising. Then we've got slide back and settle. Right? And let those elbows go a little behind you there, Alex. You're here. Here. Yeah. So they got back. Now, down. Right alongside the body. And then Sung. Little Tai Chi squat. And remember, Su, to sink the butt. Yeah, there you go. Because you went like this. You did you did a whole forward fold and then you sat the butt. It's got to come from the sinking of the butt. It's got to be this hip disappearing, folding. That's the movement, right? And again, standing. We rock to the toes a little, the hands come forward a little. Heels, hands swing back. Hung or rising. Rock back, slide back, and settle just a little. And then, so Alex, look at your hands, look at my hands. Yeah. G, forward. Turn your palms to face, and they come down, under, and behind. Up the backside, under the armpit, like you're tickling your armpit, forward. And then Lu, sweeping down and back. Pung, back of hands leading. Slide back and settle. Remember that, slide back and settle. So Alex, you're doing something like this. Just this. Just very simple. Right? So let's just do that a couple more times. Just very natural. That's right. There doesn't need to be a bunch of hiking up of the shoulders or anything. It's just slide back and settle. And then now the heels of the hands lead, pressing straight down. And then soften the hands, hips, back, sung. That little squat. And back to standing. Rock forward a little, hands swing forward. Rock back a little, swing back. Pung, rising. Then it's that slide back and settle thing. So make it easy. Just slide back and settle. Then forward through the fingertips. Turn the palms to face each other. Down, under, up the backside, under the armpits, out with backs of hands leading, and then flat palms, sweep down and back. Again, pung, slide back and settle. Remember the slide back and settle. Alex, again, elbows behind you, otherwise your shoulders have to do some funny stuff. And then down. And then sung. Sung meaning soften, let everything out. Now, from our middle pivot, change your weight to your right leg, turn a little, and the hands go over to this side. So remember, we've been talking about storing and issuing. So before we can do a thing, we have to prepare to do that thing. Right? So that's a prepared state. The weight is here and it's not here. So we got potential difference. We've got a wind up to the right, and we've got this softening long, this sort of like an elasticity away, down. And then just change over to the other side into that state where the weight goes in the left. You got that little bendability, so you feel spring loaded, you're turning. You feel that stored position, and then change. Store to the right. And then store to the left. Store. Now, stay here for a moment. Remember, pung is rising. So if we do pung, but we also shift and turn, it's backs of hands leading up and over, kind of like a rolling wave out in the middle of the ocean. Let it finish to the tips of the fingers, and then just releasing down, under, and we go back to the stored position. So you're turned slightly, weights in the right leg, body is turned. Now we're going pung, we're rising, backs of hands leading, flooding up and open, open, over and over, and so. Stored up, we then can express pung through the body in this particular way. There's many ways to express these energies, but this is the primal Tai Chi set. This set was really what all the Tai Chi practices came from over time. It's like primal energy awakening. Pump. Release. Now, Lu, so from this stored position, we're going to get to the other stored position. Come under and all the way up to this corner. Now, again, try to become able to see the relationships of the parts. So your left hand, turn palm up, right hand here. Notice the hands are not on top of each other. There's this natural sort of offset relationship. Now, change the weight to your right leg, turn, and there's this guiding, kind of like you're guiding something diagonally this way, down and across. Release it, swing under, get all the way up to this stored position. Turn left palm up, right palm down, and Lu. Guiding, that looks great. Everybody, that looks really nice. Come under, loose. Remember, when you come under, you drop everything extra. You stay as loose as you can here. And then there's this feeling of, okay, this is an issuing of a technique. Lu. One more. Under, up to this corner. Turn. Lu. Change sides, storing, right? So now we're stored in the left leg, turn slightly left. Everything is softened, long, down, which gives it a spring-loadedness. Pung, so that's that rising. But then as we shift and turn, the backs of the hands are leading across. You get to the very end, let it finish through the tips of the fingers, and then drop down that side. Underneath, remember, this is letting go of everything extra, storing, and then punging. Up, over, rolling, 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 let it finish, and then down, under. Store. Feel that stored quality, and then come from that stored quality to the issue. And then after issuing, you let go. You just drop out what's there that's extra, let it come back through, and then back to this stored position. Now remember, when doing this, it's pump. So it's got to have this rising. But that's easy to miss that because we're coming across. But it's got to have that flood, that rising, up and over. And then down. Now swing under so we can get to the stored ready position for Lu. So we're up at this corner, turn right palm up, left palm down, guiding down and across. You let it finish. You come through letting out everything extra, nothing extra in the body, swing up, keep it nice and open and relaxed, turn right palm up, left palm down, and Lu. Down to the corner. From your middle pivot, you just shift, turn, swing. Prepare the hands and shift, turn, issue. Totally relax, shift, turn, swing. Shift, turn, issue. And change sides, swing under, store, 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 down here. Now we go pung, rising. Get to this corner. Now, prepare for Lu, Lu. Now we're putting them together. So remember that move we just practiced. We just put that in there. Now, change sides. Go to stored, 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 stored. Now it's pung. Rising with the loose hands. Drop your wrist, Alex. Loose wrist. And then lead through the backs of the hands up, up. got to come up and over. Then here, there's just this natural boom, right? So we're rolling, 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 and then boom. Now it's lu, right? Diagonally across, down. Change sides. So we're storing, 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 storing. Wrists relaxed. Backs of hands leading up as you shift and turn. Smacking. This way. Turn that left palm up, right palm down. Down. Change sides. Stored. Rising. Hunging. Then roll right into the prepared position for lu. Down. Cross. Change. Storing, 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 storing. Pung. Hands roll into that position. Lu. Changing. So stored on your left side. Hunging up and over to the right side. Palms roll. And then now change. So now you're in your left leg. The stored position for G. Here. Here. So if I turn this way, you see this is, and this is on top. But now we're going to be going that way. So you're stored in this leg, turn slightly this way, G, and this foot's kind of turned out a little bit that way, just a little, doesn't have to be much. Now express forward, 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 let it get all the way to the end, and then just like elastic, comes back, stored, and G, issue. Store, issue. Store, issue. Now, float the hands up a little, turn a little bit back, and bring hands right in front, fingertips facing each other. Elbows are out to the side. Now, remember, heels of hands lead, so it's on, sinking, right? Sinking, rising, sink, rise, sink, sink, rise. One more time. Sink. Now at the bottom of this sink, sum, just release. Shift turn slightly, store the ball. Store the ball. So the one that I just talked about, where this is on front, this is on top. So Alex, look at your left hand. Look at this is my right, but this is the hand that your left hand should be. You're doing this, I'm doing this. There, so it's on the front of a ball, right? If I had a ball, I'm on top and front, meaning that's the direction we're going. So now it's G. So the fingertips go and this hand leads, comes back. So do you notice how my hands are not crossing, Alex, and yours are? G, back. That's it. That's correct. G, back. Very good. G, back. G. Now at the end of G, float. Come back over top. This is us storing to then go on. Come up again. Again. On. Sinking. Now, store for G. So that ball is in your brain now. Go ball. G. Then float up a little. Come back over top. Down through the middle, down through the middle. Notice I didn't get back here. Down through the middle. Make the ball G. Float. Back. Down the middle. Soft. Load. So store. Issue. Release. Store. Issue. Release. Store. Issue. Release. Store. Issue. On. Release. Change sides, please. So, turn this left foot in. You go into this storing position, but you go a little further to make the ball. So again, try to see my hand, try to recreate it yourself. The ball. And we're sort of more in this leg, turned a little bit this way, so that we're stored up to go G, and repeat G a few times, just to tenderize the tissue and get the pathways open. G, back, G, back. Now G to on, so it's G and then soft. Storing. Now we'll do a few ons in a row. On, release. Rise back up to the stored position and on, release. Rising up. On, release. One more, on, release, store for G. So turn, load up your ball. Load up your ball. So Alex, drop your right hand so the back of your hand is vertical and this hand is on top. G, release. Storing for on, release. Storing for G, issuing, release. Storing for on, issuing, release. Storing, issuing, releasing. Storing, issuing, release. Store, issue, release. Store, issue, release. One more. Now, load for pung, the first one. Rising and rolling up, 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 over. Then turn right palm up, left palm down, loop. Cross. Come underneath and change sides, but store for G. Make the ball. G. Rising. Store for on. So in order to sink, we have to be up, right? We have to be high so that we can practice that issuing of sinking, sinking, sinking. In order to do the pung, which is up and over, we have to store, then we go pung. And luckily we're ready for up here, loo, because we're up high, so guiding, sliding down and back, that's loo. Now we want to do G, but we got to change sides and load up back here so that we have the runway open to go G. We finish that, we release it, and then we go, oh, I want to do on now. Okay, well then I gotta store and get ready, so I'm up high, my body's kind of straight, and then through the whole medium of the body, sinking, sinking, and finishing all the way through. Pung Lu, so we load, pung. We release and then store for Lu and Lu. Change. Load the ball. The runway is open for G. Let it finish. Let it release. Then we remember on. So we come back, pause here, hands pointing at each other. On. With the heels of the hands leading. Right? So from here, it's that little heels of hands, which is different than if I went down like this or went down flat. It's that little heels of hands down. So in general, what they say is pung is backs of hands, Lu is palms. Change sides, get ready for G. G is fingertips, so it's really this hand, fingertips leading. And on is heels of hands. Heels of hands. Pung is backs of hands, so store and issue. Lu is palms of hands. Change sides, load up for G. G is fingertips. So it's this hand's fingertips leading, storing, and heels of hands for on. Now remember those movements. And from standing facing forward now, turn your right foot out a little bit. Change your weight into that foot. Now your left foot is empty. Step it forward just a little bit and change your weight into that foot. Just kind of like you're leaning that way. And then come back. So now we're turning. So we step kind of pigeon-toed and turn. This right foot now empty steps forward and you just lean into it. So notice how the angle of my body is now pointing to this way a little bit. And I'm back into this leg, I'm still this way. Now when I step and turn, my body is changing where it's pointing. Now this foot being empty steps forward and you go into it. Back. Turn. So these are 5 of the energies. Forward, because the form is called Shi San Shi, 13 energies. So 8 hand movements, 5 leg, lower body ideas. So turning to the right is one energy. Going forward is another. Back is another. That's 3. Turning this way is another. So where's the 5th one? Middle. So every time you go back, you have to find middle. Every time you turn, you got to find middle. That's what gives you stability. Forward, but still middle. Otherwise, you go falling forward. Backward, but still middle. Turn. Now, right foot in front, you're loaded. The camera forward is now where we hung. Forward, then turn right palm upish, left palm downish, Lu, back, down. Now we change sides, so it's the step and turn, the turn from your middle, keep turning and storing up slightly behind you, and this left foot now is ready, steps a little bit in front, so now we're hunging to the front, and up and over and across, and then we're luing back down to this place. Then we're changing sides, where you drop everything out of the arms, turn, 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 store, 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 step a little bit forward and Pump. Loop. Turn. Stored. Remember, stored has to be there so that you can issue. Issue. Change where we drop everything out. Now, store for G, make the ball. Right foot a little bit in front. G, forward, 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 forward. Arms extending. And then hands float up a little. You come back on. Sink. Right? Change sides. Make the ball. Right? It's kind of a hidden ball here, but you see I've got it. And the left foot is forward. Now it's G, forward, 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 fully extend, and then floating up a little, and then back and on, down, so. Now let's go pung lu. So pung, lu, change sides, make the ball, G, back over top, on, sung, load it up and pung, lu, change sides, loading up the ball, G, sung, load, pung, lu, change, loading for G, sung, load for pung, lu, change, loading for G, sung, one more each side, pung, lu, change, load for G, sung, one more, pung, lu, change, G, sung, and middle. Rock back a little, open, float. Rock forward, sweeping around, 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 and out, and out, and out. Palms face up. Rock back, hands coming in the mouth. Rock middle of feet, hands settle to middle, belly, belly. So Alex, look at my hands. They're at my belly button. They're both at the same height. And they're both, take a look at your hands. So you got something going on like this. Can you get it like that? And turn your palms to face your body. Your palms are like this. Can you turn them like that? More. Turn your right there, there, right there. So try to see that and then make your body do that. Make your body create that same look. And then we hollow and sing. And then rise. Rock back and open. Lift. Rock forward and sweep around. Palms face up. The hands come in like you're bringing something in your mouth. Rock back as they bring them in. Rock middle as your hands settle. Remember what I just explained about the hands? Bring the brain into those hands. Keep that awareness. And then we hollow. Hollow the front, which opens up the room for that. And then push through the ground and rise. One more of those. So this is kind of like combing out any little tangles in the hair, right? We're just resetting the natural flow because we did our practice and we sort of stayed within some certain loops of movement to really learn them, to really dial that in. But sometimes that can create little eddies, right? Little swirls. And so this is us just clearing out any stagnant eddies, returning to just as free and loose as you can. And then finally, wing, roll, fold, settle, settle, settle. Turn palms to face the belly, and then seal 1, 2. And a little Taoist bow. Thank you, everybody. If there are questions, comments, insights, anything, it's always super helpful when you share, even if it's just a passing thought. It often helps people. So please do.